We welcome to the program now Dane Maxwell, Southern District Commissioner for the Mississippi Public Service Commission. Commissioner, thanks for coming on. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So you are, of course, running for re-election in the primary next Tuesday. Give us an update on how it's going.
We're marching on. Everything's good on our end. We're dodging the mudslinging, but that comes with desperate people at the end of the campaign, and we just ignore it and move on.
So, Commissioner, your primary opponent was on the program, Wayne Carr, was on the program Monday, and he discussed something related to campaign finance in your campaign. Yeah. Can you tell us about that and your thoughts about that from your perspective?
Well, it's just non-truths. They're throwing mud out there and they're throwing everything against the wall to see what'll stick. The reality is the Secretary of State has went through everything on my end. We did make some corrections. I have a CPA that does my account, so I'm not on the account. The CPA does all the stuff, and so I notified him, and they went through everything, and we cleaned everything up. And there were a couple mistakes in there, but nothing criminal like he's accusing me of.
So would you characterize it then, Dane, more as just a reporting oversight, more administrative in nature, and not some sort of deliberate, nefarious abuse of campaign funds? Because I believe that's what the allegation is.
It is. They're accusing me of intentionally doing things that I just didn't do. I can't even write a check on my account. But in filing ethics complaints, there's a serious deal. And Gerard, that's a serious issue. In an ethics complaint, when you file an ethics complaint, it's a confidential process. And whoever files it is supposed to keep that confidential too. That's to keep politics out of it. And exactly what he did was file it and then took pictures of it and put it all over the media. But these are anti-Trump people. I get that a lot because I'm Trump's state director. And that just comes with the territory. It does go way beyond when you start accusing me of criminal stuff, and that's just ridiculous.
So I want to make sure I understand that. I'm not sure I was familiar with that, Commissioner. So he did disclose on the program that they had filed a complaint with, it would be the Mississippi Ethics Commission, I believe would be the organization. And if I'm not mistaken, is Tom Hood, is he still the director of that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've talked to Mr. Hood as well. Just in filings I've had to do with respect to serving on the lottery board. We all have to do. You're familiar with that. You have to file certain reports and stuff. So, so what you're saying is that's not supposed to be disclosed in the public square. That when you make these complaints, when you file these complaints,
sure,
you're supposed to keep that confidential.
Go out bragging about it. Yeah, you don't go out and brag about it. Confidential investigation. And, it's just ridiculous to do it because all it is using it for politics. And like I said, I take that from anti-Trump people all the time. I don't take it as severe as these guys do. These guys are doing. His campaign is when they've not talked about policy. They've not talked about a plan because they don't have any. All they have is attacking me. And that's fine. They can attack me all day long. Keep my family out of it. I'd appreciate that. Beat up on me all you want to. I'm moving ahead, keeping my head down, and I'm going to win this election.
What do you hear, Commissioner? Have you been traveling the district and speaking to folks about your re-election campaign?
Yes, sir. I traveled the district when it's not campaign season. I've been in every county more than 5 times, and I've been campaigning every day. And I don't hardly miss an event if I can. It's hard to go to all those events, because some of them are at the same time, but I go to a lot of events. I'm telling them what we're doing. We've had a good, successful run here. We've got some good programs in place. We've had a very successful 4 years. We've changed a lot. We've done a lot, and I want to continue doing that. I love my job. I want to continue doing it.
How difficult has the Biden administration made your job in the last couple of years relative to prior to Joe Biden being elected? Seems like every day there's something new that affects energy.
Day. It's ridiculous. If we don't fix that problem up there, we are going to destroy this country. And we can only do so much. When these federal mandates come down, especially on the power companies, it's very difficult to do anything about it. And we've got a lot of new rules and more coming that's going to do nothing but raise rates. We won't have anything we can do about it.
And Commissioner, it's a good point you make, because we talk about that a lot on the program. You know, we have lots of candidates running for state office that talk about, you know, pushing back on the federal government, and I applaud their concern. But you're kind of limited, aren't you? I mean, if you just defy executive orders or regulations coming down from the federal government, you got a legal problem on your hand, do you not?
You do, and there's not a lot. There's not a lot you can do about it. The only thing you can do is try to push back through the various agencies. And the problem with that is many of those what we call careers in the federal government system, as you're familiar with, they've been entrenched in that for so long that they're typical bureaucrats. They don't care what happens in Mississippi.
I mean, it seems like that's who runs the country. And I'll give it to Donald Trump. He exposed that. He exposed what he called the deep state. That's really what he's talking about. It wasn't so much Congress. They can't get anything done because we don't agree on anything, and we typically have split government. But it's at the agency level. That's where that's what affects our lives more than anything.
You know, I tell people when I talk to them, a lot of the mayors, you know, the mayors I've developed a great relationship with them, and I try to help them as much as I can to acquire funding for their cities and stuff. But what I tell them is, when you talk to your federal delegation and you let them know what you want to do, the next step is to go talk to the bureaucrats in the agencies, because they're the ones that's going to make the decision. And you just don't go up and talk to Senator Wicker and say, I need $1 million, and then expect him to produce it. He's going to have to figure a way to make it happen, and it's going to be a lot of work. If you want to help him, go and see the bureaucrats. If you wanted something from EPA, like I did in Pascagoula, we had that Superfund project down there. I went straight to Scott Pruitt, and I helped him through the appropriations process. I went down and worked in the well of the Senate, and we got $107.4 million for Pascagoula, and that's how it happened. And that's what I encourage them guys to do. Bureaucrats control this country.
No doubt. I'm with you on that. So, what's your plan in the next term, Commissioner? Provided you get reelected, what's on the radar?
I'm gonna get reelected. I'm working. I'm gonna win this race. And I tell you, because the people know what I've done. The people see what I've done. And we're going to continue doing that. And one of the big things that we're going to do is we're going to focus on this, what he calls this great water steal or something like that. What we really done is we went out and identified, after I took office, we went out and identified rural water associations and various subdivisions and stuff that were derelict. I partnered with DEQ. I partnered with the health department, and we went out there and we put our team together, and we are finding abandoned water systems, derelict water systems, and sewage systems. We've corrected over 100. He didn't tell you that. We've corrected over 100 of those things. And now we've got good clean water and sewer out of people's yards. We're going to continue to work on that.
Commissioner, thanks for coming on. Good luck on the campaign. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon again. Commissioner Dane Maxwell, he's the Public Service Commissioner of the Southern District of Mississippi, running for re-election, has been our guest on Middays. We're stepping aside for a break. Final segment.